Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of Purpose Through Fitness. Really excited to bring this episode to you. I think this is very important for us to start off and talk about. This is what I would say the most important step in anybody trying to change their life or wanting to be better. This is going to deal with accountability. And today we're going to discuss 5 tips and exercises for being able to become more accountable in your life, being more accountable in your actions, and how we can start to make that positive change. Now, first off, I actually want to add a bit of a disclaimer to this show, as well as all my shows going forward. Everything that I do share with this community are all things I've either tried, done, or am currently doing. I don't want to share anything with people I haven't tried myself or trust myself because I want to be honest with my listeners. Now, some of what I'm doing or some of what I've done may not work for everyone, but I believe it's important that you do try these things. When you do try new things, when you push yourself outside of your comfort zone, this actually allows the brain to grow. It was actually according to, I believe it was a University of Pittsburgh neuroscientist, Paul Nussbaum, I believe, who said that traveling can stimulate your brain and encourage the growth of new connections within the cerebral matter. And they found that this wasn't actually linked with just traveling, but it was linked between new experiences in general. Now, when you expose the brain to a new environment or a foreign environment that's novel or complex, the brain actually reacts to it. And when it reacts to these new situations, it actually inhibits the growth of the brain. So you want to continue to try to do new things when you can. Big thing with this is pick one thing a week that you don't want to do and do it. It could be, if you're very antisocial and introverted, go out with a group of people one night. I'm sure you will feel uncomfortable, but do it. If you don't like to read 5 pages a day. Start to pick things that you don't like to do and just give it a shot. You never know what you may uncover that you actually love to do. In fact, 2 examples I can give for myself. I did not like seafood for many, many years. In fact, it was to a point where I think the only seafood I had tried up to this point was either a fish fillet from McDonald's or some fried fish sticks. And I was not a big fan. I always told people I hate seafood, I hate shrimp, don't want to try any of this stuff. No. It wasn't until I was about, I want to say it was 15 or 16, I went out on a trip with my aunt, uncle, and cousins out to Los Angeles and Las Vegas. And when we were out in Los Angeles, we went to a place called Wahoo's Fish Tacos. And I decided to order a fish taco for the first time in my life. And I'm very, very hesitant. Took one bite of the thing. It was one of the most delicious things I've ever had. And I made it a goal to myself that I would not be afraid to try new foods going forward. And ever since then, some of the best foods I've ever had are things that I would have never thought I would like. So it's very important to at least try things that you think you may not like, because you never know what's actually leading you to trying that. You never know if by trying that you uncover something that you love, you uncover your passion, you uncover your purpose. I didn't like working out. I started working out, and it just so happened that I turned fitness into becoming my life and my career. And I think that's pretty awesome. So I encourage all of you to try something new. Again, some of this may not work for you today, but at least try it. By trying those new things, you're already progressing and you're already causing that stimulation in the brain to grow. So be proud of that fact. Let's go ahead and get into this with my 5 tips and exercises for being more accountable. Okay, everyone, the first one I want to talk about today is honesty with yourself. Now, the important part is don't just be honest with others, you need to be honest with yourself. This is one of the most important steps if you want to change and improve your life. You must be honest about who you are. And you have to be honest about any faults and mistakes that you have and areas that you can improve. You have to be committed to this honesty with yourself. Now is not the time to fluff the truth. We're going to try a little experiment here, and I want to hear reactions from my audience to see how this affected you or how you were able to do this. Now, I do want to give credit here to David Goggins for really bringing this one to my attention. This is a great exercise to do, and I will forewarn you, it's a very powerful exercise. This can dig up a lot of emotions, but it's necessary. So what I want you to do is to go into a room where there's a mirror. By the way, you don't have to do this right now. I want you to do this after this is done. I want you to take something away from this, try these experiments, and let me know how they go. But I want you to go into a room where there's a mirror. Close the door, turn off all electronics, no noises, no nothing. Sit down in front of that mirror and begin to have a conversation with yourself. Start talking about the things you want to accomplish in life, the things that you know you need to change in your life, and be honest. Do not dance around the truth here. I don't want you to say, well, I'm a little bit overweight, and if it wasn't for how my previous relationship went, I wouldn't have gained this extra weight. I'd probably be in the gym. No. You need to be honest. You need to say, I am overweight and I am lazy. I continue to make excuses why I'm not doing things that will make me better. You need to be blunt and honest with yourself. Are you skinny and weak like I was? Tell yourself that. Are you fat and overweight? Tell yourself that. You need to be honest, and it will drudge up emotions. But you have to be honest. When you can admit 100% honestly with yourself the problems you have, you can then begin to correct those problems. This will put you on a path to understanding the problem. And when you understand the problem, you can fix it. It's just like a math equation. You ever read those really long word problems? And maybe you read it really quickly and you thought you knew the answer and you answered it, but you actually slowed down and read it honestly, line by line, word for word. You're able to break it down more. It makes more sense to you. And then you can understand what the problem is and how to better address it. So I want you to do this and let me know, what kind of reactions did you have to it? Did you feel comfortable doing this? Was it uncomfortable? Did you have any issues doing it? Were you concerned with how foolish you looked sitting in a room by yourself? If that's the case, I want you to ask yourself, is it better to live life full of stress, hate, anger, resentment, and being miserable all the time? Or would you rather spend a few moments of humility in front of the mirror with yourself and be honest? To me, that's a simple answer. Number 2, time to lose control. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking. Lose control? I'm trying to gain control. And in most contexts, when you hear lose control, you think it's a bad thing. Here, it's a very good thing. What I mean by time to lose control is stop trying to control the things you have no control over? What if I told you that the majority of the negativity and stress you're dealing with in life is actually self-inflicted? Now, we all go through difficult times, and most of the time it's things we cannot control, but we can control how we perceive said action, event, or person. And that either will cause us stress, or we can deal with it and move on. Now, we all know the long-term and short-term effects of stress, from headaches, raised blood pressure, heart problems, fertility problems for women, weakened immune systems, and many more. So why are you worrying so much? Why are you wasting your time and energy on things you have zero control over? We expect certain things to happen a certain way. And if it doesn't, we can let it affect our daily tasks and our mood. You must remove all expectations from others. Focus on the decisions you can control, and do not let the ones you can't dictate the ones you can. Let me ask you, how often have you stubbed your toe in the morning, and that resulted in a bad day for the entire day? You lost control because you let something you couldn't control put you in a bad mood. That bad mood affected your controllable decisions. Typically, when this happens, you see people do things faster and in a more aggressive manner. You stub your toe in the morning. Let's say you're making your bed, you throw your sheets over. Or you go to the bathroom to brush your teeth, you're aggressively brushing your teeth. That may actually result in you hitting your gums the wrong way. And again, you begin to spiral. You spiral until eventually your entire day is ruined based off of that single event happening of stubbing your toe. So why not change that? Stub your toe. Yeah, it hurts and it sucks. Laugh it off afterwards. Laugh at yourself. I do it all the time. Oh, I'm just clumsy. You'd be amazing how that simple mind switch right after doing something like that happens can change your entire day. Now, the best way to combat all the stresses we deal with in life, whether it's a small scale or large scale, whether it's stubbing your toe or death of a loved one, one way we can deal with a lot of these stresses: gratitude, and more gratitude. I want you to start writing down all the things that you're grateful for in life. Now, when you start this list, you're going to start with the big things: family, friends, maybe food, house over a roof over my head, things like that. And you might find yourself getting stuck after a while. But I want you to keep focusing. I want you to revisit this list every single day and add 1 to 2 things to that list each day. You're going to find, as you continue to do this, you start to find things that you're grateful for that you never really consciously thought about. I'm grateful for running water, access to a bathroom, for taste buds to taste food, for a nose to be able to smell, eyes to be able to see, shoes on my feet, air conditioning, things that you may not think of on a day-to-day basis. And I want you to continue to build this list every single day. And then revisit this list as much as possible. Make it a daily habit so the list becomes ingrained in your head. So when you're at work or out with friends or wherever it may be and you encounter another stressful situation, you can close your eyes and think of this list. Start running through some of the things that you are grateful for. When you do this, you can begin to alter the course of your mind. You can begin to change it from stress, anxiety, fear, resentment to peace and empathy and happiness. Being in a constant state of gratitude will drastically improve the quality of your life in all aspects. So again, please write down what you're grateful for. Revisit that list every single day and add to it. You'll find there's many more blessings in your life than there are bad things. Number 3, you are good enough. Do not let your present or past circumstances define who you are and what you do moving forward. Oftentimes, we tend to look at what we already have done as an excuse as to why we aren't getting better. And in fact, it's our brains subconsciously telling us to take the easy path. We may use certain events as an excuse as to why we aren't doing the things we need to or the things we want to in order to get better and achieve happiness. We say things like, oh, I'll never be able to do this because this happened to me, or I could never be this because of this. Well, as Henry Ford once said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. I absolutely love this quote. This is one of my all-time favorite quotes because it's so simple and yet so accurate. How can anyone ever succeed in life if their first thought is, I can't? You must be able to shift that logic. Many people have come from worse than you to do great things. And you know what? You can too. One thing I like to repeat to myself on a daily basis is, I am better than no one, and no one is better than me. I think the key for people trying to change and make their life better is the second half of this sentence. And no one is better than me. What we tend to do is look at other people who are successful, celebrities, athletes, politicians, and we fall into the trap of thinking they have everything together. They have all the answers. They're just better than me. They know what they're doing. They've got it figured out, and I don't. The best way I've found to be able to combat this mentality is to simply realize that no one has it all together. We all think life isn't fair at times. We all get depressed. We all are scared of life itself. We're human. We make mistakes. We do good things, we do bad things. But we're all equals, and we all have dreams that we can achieve. But you need to understand you have that greatness inside of you. You have everything you need. You have all the tools capable of becoming your best self. And you need to understand that and realize that. Start to love yourself more. Start to believe in yourself more. And you will be able to achieve what you want to achieve. Number 4, schedule and commit. This, I think, is possibly the most important step to not only maintaining a routine, but developing it into a habit. Without scheduling even the most menial of tasks, we can waste a lot of time just trying to figure out what's next. I see this quite commonly in the gym. Somebody says, you know what, I'm finally going to go to the gym today, going to start working out, I'm finally going to attack this. They get to the gym, they walk around for 45 minutes looking at all the machines, and they still haven't started. This is because they got excited to do something but didn't have a plan of attack. This is the same for all aspects of life, whether it's a business you want to start, if it's exercising you want to do, if you want to start eating healthier. All of this requires having some kind of plan. If you don't have at least a basic plan outlined, you're not starting yourself in a position to be able to reach that point of success. So you need to plan this out. Even if it's as simple as walk on the treadmill 45 minutes, write it down. Write it down the time you're going to schedule it, from 9 to 9:45. If it's after work, from 6 to 6:45, whenever it is, write that down. Start to plan out your days. Sit down and write out what would be the perfect day. The perfect day where if 0 distractions happened, this is how I would like my day to go. Is it a weekday and you have a 40-hour week job? Okay, well, let's plan out that 8 hours you're at work. When's your lunch going to be? When are you going to take your vitamins? When are you going to take your breaks? What are some things you want to be able to accomplish at work? Some projects and tasks you need to work on? And then schedule your evenings. Schedule time to prepare for the next day, to prep food, whatever it is you want to do. Do you want to read more? Do you want to study more? Is there something you've been wanting to learn more about? Schedule all this in, again, in what you would call the perfect day. Now, very rarely, if ever, is this quote-unquote perfect day going to happen. But what this allows you to do is, let's say a distraction comes up and it chews up 2 hours out of your day that you didn't have scheduled. You now have a schedule you can look at and say, okay, I have lost 2 hours. Here is everything that has not been done yet. What am I willing to, or what is most efficient that I get rid of in order to make up for the time that I lost? Do you have scheduled in time for relaxing and watching TV? Maybe you cut that down a little bit. Maybe you've scheduled an hour for reading. Maybe that needs to be a half an hour today because of the distractions. This is where you get to play with it and really determine what's most important to you. And this actually helps you be more accountable for your actions because you see it written down. And you know if 2 hours of your day was eaten up and on your list remaining, you still have prepare for an exam or study for business or something very, very important, but you also have time for relaxing and let's say an hour for watching TV or whatever it is, and you decide to do the TV, you're going to start to feel guilty. You're going to start to feel yourself wanting to be more accountable because now you have it written down and you're just not following the rules. Prior to this, there were no rules and I'm just trying to figure it out. So a lot of times when that happens and you can't figure it out, we default to the easy method, which is sit down, relax, watch TV, or whatever. Having the schedule now allows you to see this is everything I know I want to get done and need to get done. And if I don't do it, it's my fault. I can't blame the distractions. I can't blame anything else. I'm the one who decided to take TV and put that as more important than studying or learning. So try this. It's a very, very powerful tool. You will notice that when you develop a habit on some of these things, you don't need to schedule necessarily when you're going to take your multivitamins or when you're going to eat your lunches and things like that. This stuff will eventually become a habit that doesn't need to be written down, but you still want to schedule out any appointments you may have, your workouts, the timing of it, time you want to dedicate to reading, to studying, to whatever your hobbies and tasks are. These things you still want to schedule down because you want to be able to see it and know what you need to get done. Okay, now the fifth and last one we're going to talk about today is visual cues. This one is absolutely huge for me. And as I said in the very beginning of this episode, this may not work for everyone, but this is very important to me. I like to post visual cues anywhere and everywhere I can. somewhere that I know I'm going to see them constantly, whether it be my bedroom, my bathroom, in the kitchen, my main living area, my computer at work, my wallet, my gym bag. A lot of different places that I know I'm going to check frequently. I like to have constant reminders of positivity and focus. It's just something to kind of nudge you throughout the day and say, hey, don't forget about maintaining positivity. Now, for me, right when I wake up, above my closet, I have 2 daily reminders. One is my daily affirmations that I repeat to myself every morning. Those daily affirmations for me are, I am amazing. I can do anything. Positivity is a choice. I celebrate my individuality. And I am prepared to succeed. I have that sitting right next to my daily Did You Pray reminder. This allows me to wake up, see this, and instantly put myself in a more positive light for the day. It's very important that when you start your day on the right foot. Because as we talked about earlier, something as simple as stubbing your toe can ruin your entire day if you don't catch it quick enough. So I'd like to have these visual cues to remind me. Next, in my bathroom, right by the light switch when I go in, I have my 12 daily reminders. I'm going to read just a couple of them for you. Some of the most important ones for me. Number 1 is the past cannot be changed. Number 3 is everyone's journey is different. There is also judgments are a confession of character. Positive thoughts create positive things. Happiness is found within. Kindness is free and your ultimate weapon. You only fail if you quit. And smiles are contagious. These are just a few of the daily reminders I have in my bathroom to, again, as I'm getting ready for the day, I like to read over these and repeat them just to put myself in that constant state of being aware of my surroundings and more accountable for my actions. I like to keep a little piece of paper in my wallet with a quote on it. That quote is my favorite quote of all time by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., which was simply, you do not have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step in faith. And I think that's a very important life lesson for everybody, whether it be faith-based or you're starting a business, starting a new hobby, taking on a new task, whatever it may be. We all fear doing something new, but we must take that first step. Once we take that first step, majority of the times we find, that wasn't nearly as bad as it was. For anyone who knows me, I am, well, you know what? I can't say I am anymore because I feel this did fix it for me. I used to be deathly afraid of heights, to the point where if I would even go 2 or 3 rungs up on a ladder, I would start to get tight and shake. I was very similar to my father in this aspect. We were both the same way. Anything that's more than maybe 2 feet above the ground, it just felt very uncomfortable. We both felt uncomfortable driving over bridges. Even on bike rides, I have a bridge that's fairly close to me. That's maybe 40 feet above the ground, 30, 40 feet above the ground, if that. And I get very nervous riding my bike over it. So I have to focus straight forward. And, I couldn't look over the edges because I'd start to lock up. My heart would beat fast and I felt very uncomfortable. Well, we're going on about 1.5 years ago, I decided to take a leap of faith and go skydiving. Yeah, I know it's a bit dramatic going from 2 rungs up on a ladder being afraid to going right to skydiving, but I said, you know what, I'm going to do it. And this was when I was starting to do some of these exercises that we're talking about today and pushing myself outside of my comfort zone, that I started to grow. So I said, going to try it. We get there. We get in the plane. They go over everything. The most nerve-wracking part of the whole entire experience is the video that they show you beforehand where they discuss, hey, just to let you know, this is one of the coolest things ever, but you could very well die, just to let you know. So we start going up in the plane, and surprisingly, on the ascension up, I wasn't as nervous as I thought I would be. I, for some reason, felt some kind of calming feeling. I wasn't too sure why or where it came from, but I wasn't as nervous as I thought I would be. Now, that did change a little bit when they opened the plane door, and the friend I was with at the time, she went out first, and you kind of just see them sitting on the ledge, and then they drop, and they drop, and they drop, and that's when I first said, holy crap, what am I doing? And as I'm thinking this, the guy says to me, all right, let's go. So we go, we sit out on the edge, and the guy says, okay, this is it. It's now or never. Either thumbs up, we're good to go, or thumbs down, we'll go back in the plane and land. Instant reaction, I just said thumbs up, and boom, we went out of the plane. It was maybe 1 second from jumping out of the plane to holy crap, I'm flying. And then about another second after that to realizing this is pretty damn cool. This is not what I thought it was. This was not what I was expecting. This is incredible. Now, the cool thing was it was a perfect day. We jumped from about 15,000 feet, so we had a good solid minute and a half of just free fall. For those of you that know me, I'm a big superhero fan. My favorite superhero of all times is Goku, and I truly felt like I was Goku just flying through the air. It was incredible. Then they pull the chute. You slow down, and you're just floating above the earth, and it gave me such a unique perspective on the world. To be able to see the world from a different view like that just put a lot of things in perspective. And that really affected me for a while, because after we landed, I started realizing there might be a lot more things in my life that I'm missing out on because of fear, because of something that hasn't happened yet, because of me being afraid to take the first step. I might actually be missing out on my happiness. So I made it a plan that going forward, if there was something that I feared doing or something that I just felt nervous about doing, I would try and do it, because I believe that's a sign telling me I need to do it. So I encourage each and every one of you, try something new. Do something outside of your comfort zone. Try a new food that you don't think you would like. Try riding a roller coaster if you're afraid of heights. Try doing something that you don't think you will enjoy. And if you don't enjoy it afterwards, that's fine. Now you know, but you did it. And because of doing that, you actually inhibit brain growth. And that brain growth is only going to lead to better things for you down the road. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. I love starting this community. I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes and to continue to share these stories and tips with you and to hear some success stories. I want to hear from you, my listeners. I want to hear what you took away from this episode. I want to hear what from this episode you're going to try to be more accountable in your life. And I want to hear if you have any tips and tricks for yourself. Is there something that you found that helped you better your life that you'd like to share with others? Please like and comment this podcast. You can follow us on all social media platforms. Instagram is purpose_through-fitness. You can find us on Facebook and YouTube at Purpose Through Fitness. and you can find us on all major podcasting platforms. I want to truly thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your day to listen to this. I'd like to leave with a quote from a song that I took very personal the first time I heard it, and I'd like to leave you with this little special treat today, and I want you to take it to heart. I know that being you is harder than it sounds, but you're the only one who can. So be you and do you proud. May God bless each and every one of you. Hope you have a beautiful, happy, safe, and healthy week ahead of you. Don't forget to get out there and move. Exercise your body, exercise your mind, and I can't wait to see you all next week.